Imagine two colleagues, Ravi and Smriti. They graduate the same year. They got job that pay almost the same salary. And for the next 25 years, they both work hard and earn regular promotions. But by the time they reach their late 40s, their financial lives look completely different. Ravi is still worried about EMIs, rising expenses, and whether he'll be able to retire comfortably. Smriti, on the other hand, has quietly built a portfolio that gives her options. Not because she earned dramatically more, but because she followed a few simple habits with money that most people ignore. And that's the uncomfortable truth about wealth. The gap between where you are financially and where you want to be is usually not an income problem. It's a habits problem. And the habits that build real lasting wealth are so counterintuitive, so quietly boring that most people scroll right past them looking for something more exciting. I'll discuss 5 of those habits today, not theory, not motivation, just the specific, repeatable behaviors that separate individuals who build wealth from people who are only exchanging time for income. Stay with me because even one of these applied consistently can change the trajectory of your financial life. Habit number 1: think in decades, not months. The wealthiest people I have encountered all share one deeply countercultural trait. They are obsessively patient. While the rest of us track portfolio performances every week, they are drawing maps for where they want to be in 15 to 20 years and work backwards from there. Think about what happens every time the market falls 20 or 30%. Most investors panic. They open their portfolio apps 5 times a day. They watch the numbers drop and slowly doubt creeps in. Did I make a mistake? Some eventually sell, not because the investment was bad, but because the anxiety becomes unbearable. Long-term investors see those same moments very differently. For them, volatility isn't a signal to quit. It's simply the price you pay for long-term wealth. I still remember speaking to an investor who had held a position in a company through a brutal 55% drawdown. Every analyst was screaming, sell. His response, I didn't buy a stock, I bought a business. The business is still intact. He held. And over the next 7 years, the position became one of the most significant wealth building decisions of his life. Here is what most people miss. The first 3 or 4 years of the investing feel most pointless. Returns are slow, volatility is nerve-wracking, and it's easy to convince yourself it's not working. But the real magic of compounding only shows itself after you have stayed in the game long enough. A disciplined monthly investment of 15,000 started at the age of 27 looks very different at 45 than the same amount started at 37. Time is one resource you cannot buy more of, and wealthy people treat it as their single greatest financial asset. Habit 2: automate every rupee before you can talk yourself out of it. Wealthy people don't invest when they feel like it. They invest before they can change their mind. Every single wealthy investor I have spoken to has one thing in common. They remove willpower from the equation. They don't sit down on the 5th of every month and decide whether to invest. Because if the money stays in your account long enough, something interesting happens. Your brain starts negotiating with you. Suddenly, new dinner feels justified. This weekend trip feels necessary. And that thing you never planned to buy starts to feel like something you deserve. The money moves automatically, directly from income to assets, before it even touches their spending account. What's left over is what they live on. When I first started doing this, I set up automatic transfers to my mutual funds the same day my salary hit my account. Not the next day, not the end of the month, the same day. The psychological shift was immediate. I stopped thinking of that money as mine to spend. It was already gone in the best possible way. Automation eliminates the single biggest enemy of wealth building. The version of you that shows up after a stressful week and decides this month's investment can wait. That version will always find a reason. Don't give it a chance. Habit number 3: upgrade your relationship with money. Stop chasing it. This habit explains why some people earn a lot of money and still feel permanently broke. It's also the hardest habit to explain because it has almost nothing to do with income and everything to do with how you think about money. You have probably seen this happen before. Someone gets a raise, and within a few months, their lifestyle quietly grows to match it. A slightly bigger apartment, a nicer car, a few more expensive habits. The income goes up, but somehow financial freedom still feels just as far away. The most financially free people I know don't talk about money the way you would expect. They don't obsess over it. They don't treat accumulation as a goal. Here is how I think about it. Money is a tool. The moment you start treating it like a scoreboard, you have already lost. What I mean is this: people who are driven purely by accumulating wealth tend to be more anxious and make short term decisions. They panic sell in downturns, they chase trends, they confuse activity with progress. Whereas people who have built genuine wealth tend to be driven by something deeper, like building something meaningful, achieving freedom, and securing their family's future. The money follows a purpose. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It can take months of honest reflection to understand why money makes you anxious, which beliefs you have inherited about it, and what you actually want money to do in your life. Once you get that clarity, financial decisions become much less emotional and far more rational. Habit 4. The wealth gap. The wealth gap is a savings gap, not an income gap. It is something that will either offend you or liberate you. Your income is probably not the problem. I have met people earning 4 lakhs a month who have almost nothing saved, and people earning 60,000 a month who are quietly building significant wealth. The difference isn't the number on the paycheck. It's a percentage that never gets spent. Imagine two people receiving the same annual bonuses. One immediately upgrades their lifestyle. The other quietly invests most of it. Same money, two very different decisions. 10 years later, those decisions turn into two very different financial lives. Truly wealthy people, the self-made kind, not those who inherited it, have an almost allergic reaction to lifestyle inflation. They don't upgrade their cars every time their salaries go up. They don't redecorate their flat to match what their colleagues are doing. A seasoned investor once told me he drove the same car for 11 years. Not because he couldn't afford a new car, but because the cost of upgrading didn't pass his internal value test. This isn't about being miserly. It's being intentional. Every rupee you save and invest is a rupee working for you while you sleep. Every rupee spent on something that doesn't genuinely enrich your life is a future asset surrendered. The question isn't, can I afford this? It's, is this the best use of my money right now? Habit 5. Ditch the scarcity mindset. It's costing you more than you think. Of all the habits on this list, this one is the hardest to spot in yourself because it doesn't look like a problem. It looks like caution. It looks like being responsible. But there is a very fine line between being prudent and being so afraid of losing that you never actually win. A scarcity mindset around money shows up in subtle ways. It's a person who has sat on a large cash balance for 3 years because of market might crash. It's a professional who didn't negotiate their salary because they were just grateful to have a job. It's the entrepreneur who never launched the business because what if it failed? In every case, the fear of loss is louder than the possibility of gain. And that imbalance quietly destroys wealth potential over time. Wealthy people think differently. An abundance mindset isn't reckless. It doesn't mean ignoring risk or blindly chasing opportunities. It means doing the homework, understanding the risks, and then having the confidence to act when the fundamentals make sense. They make the investment. They take the new role. They start the venture. And when something doesn't work out, they don't treat it as a proof that they shouldn't have tried. They treat it as an intuition for the next attempt. You can also see the difference in how people approach their own growth. People with the scarcity mindset hoard what they know. They are threatened by other people's success. People with an abundance mindset do the opposite. They invest aggressively in learning new skills. They build network with people who challenge them. They seek out mentors who are further ahead because they understand something powerful. The fastest way to grow financially is to surround yourself with people who are already thinking bigger than you. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It starts with noticing the moments when fear is driving your financial decisions rather than logic. and asking yourself honestly, is this caution or is this just fear pretending to be caution? Closing thoughts. These 5 habits won't make you overnight rich. Anything honest takes time. But the people I have watched build real lasting wealth all operated by a version of these same principles consistently, quietly over the years. They automated what they could. They thought longer than everyone else. They lived below their means without resentment. They examined their beliefs about money and they chose opportunity over fear even when it was uncomfortable. Starting with 1, pick the habit that resonates most with where you are right now and build from there. The hardest part isn't the knowledge, it's the commitment to showing up for yourself financially month after month, especially when life gets in the way. Which one of these habits are you struggling with the most right now? Patience, saving, or fear? Drop in the comments. Writing it down is often the first step to changing it. And don't forget to subscribe if you have not done it already. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.